Alrighty guys, welcome back. Glad you joined me again. This is Ben from SplittinTracks Pheasantry, and today we're going to touch on the subject of feed a little bit more. Now, I did a video before in the past, guys, and I'll leave a link to that below, but I just want to touch on a little bit more because some things have changed just a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit, okay? For instance, you guys heard me talk about this Jose Guerrero. This is a multi-grain game feed that I really, really like. Now, it has gotten a little pricey, and sometimes my feed store doesn't have it. And yeah, they get it, and they have a steady supply of it, but sometimes it sells out, and I have to go to TMC, which is also another great feed. Now, why do I prefer the Jose Guerrero over the TMC, or why did I in the past? Well, to me, when I would run the feed through my hand, it just smelled fresher. You know, it had that a little bit more of a like a fish smell to it, you know, just fresh. And I just liked it, and the birds liked it too. They liked the TMC as well, but it was just my personal preference of spoiling my birds. Yeah, so just to let you know what this Jose Guerrero multigrain has. It has the whole corn, the wheat, dehydrated peas, milo, barley, safflower seed, sunflower seed, oyster shell, brown rice, lentils, fish oil. Love the fish oil. You ever notice in some of my pictures, guys, my birds look really shiny? Well, the fish oil has a lot to do with that. Oils are really good for feathers, well, as long as protein as well. But, you know, we'll get into that later. Anyways, yeah, the soybean meal, nice distillers, dried grains with solubles, processed grains, rice bran, ground limestone. I can go on and on and on. So how's this video different from my other feed video? Well, my feed store didn't have the Jose Guerrero. So I want to bring up a good point. Now, the TMC is cheaper in price, okay? And this does come in cracked corn and whole corn. And I was lucky enough I found the whole corn. But also, they sell this in a 75-pound bag instead of a 50-pound bag. And it is cheaper than the Jose Guerrero. So we're going to switch to that for a while, cut some costs. So yeah, if it's one of the things too I want to share with you guys, in case if you do find that Jose Guerrero or multigrain, then you can go to TMC. TMC is, I think it's more popular. People, you know, it's more in supply. There's a lot more suppliers that have it, so be easier to find. But and if you can't find that too, just find a gamecock conditioner that is multigrain, or any kind of multigrain that has all those basic ingredients that I just read to you guys. Yeah, check that out, and ask your local feed store if they can help you out with any of that, if that's the route you want to go with feeding your birds. Now, you could go with just crumbles, and crumbles, you know, it's more of a complete feed, this flock raiser here. So yeah, everything your birds need, this is pretty much in it. Now, these guys don't sponsor me or anything, so I'm just sharing my knowledge and what works for my birds, you know. Again, I will not support anything I don't believe in. So, and I believe in this stuff right here. One of the reasons why I like to mix it, even though it is a complete feed, is that it gives the birds something else to look forward to. They like picking through the seeds, yes, and you don't replace it until all the feed is gone. Both feeds are a complete feed for the most part. But, you know, them having that choice to pick through their feed, and yeah, it just, I realized it increases their diet, increases their appetite, sorry. So, yeah, mixing those feeds is really good. And besides, this flock raiser tastes good to them. It really does. And when you mix this flock raiser in with their multigrain, it just makes all the grains taste so much better. That's what I've noticed with the birds. So they'll eat the things that they usually wouldn't eat if they were sitting by itself, like the protein pellets, for instance. But mixed in with the crumbles, it makes everything taste good, because flock raiser tastes good to them. And the other thing I want to touch on this, guys, is that my feed store, sometimes they mess up. When they load the car or the truck, instead of putting flock raiser crumbles, they'll put flock raiser pellets. So, yeah. So this time around, I got flock raiser pellets. So I'm usually not a fan of pellets because my birds aren't, you know, but they're going to have to deal with it this week. So, yeah. And that's what we're doing. So let me show you guys how I mix it. Okay, so before we get into mixing it, let me show you what this multigrain stuff looks like, guys. Really good stuff here. And like I said, I do like the whole corn as opposed to cracked corn, but either would be just fine. They'll live, they're not gonna die, but you know, if I can get whole corn, that's what I get. But yeah, you check it out, guys. It has the peas in there, and these little pellets that are in it itself are the protein pellets. And now usually they won't like to eat this, but I noticed mixing it with flock raiser, it tastes better, so they'll eat it. And again, they will pick through this stuff to get their favorite stuff out. That's what birds do. They eat like a bird. They pick through stuff. But I don't replace their feed until it's all gone. It's just what you got to stick to. I know they might come at you like they're hungry and you feel bad for them, but just hold out and let them eat their feed and then feed them again. Now for the fun part, the mixing. What I do is I'll take 2 parts multigrain to 1 part flock raiser pellets, or you know, crumbles, which I prefer, but like I said, we only have the pellets, so it's 2 parts of this to the flock raiser. I just dump it in the bag. All right, so we got our 1 pitcher flock raiser. So we got our mixes in the bag, and I just take the bag like this. Now if you have a concrete mixer, that would really come in handy right now. But got just a bag. Mix it up, and that's about it. I'm gonna show you guys what this looks like. And that's what we're looking at right there. Birds love it. All right, guys. So just so you know, that is not all they eat. You know, I do give them like some peanuts and mealworms and some garden scraps, lots of garden scraps, lots of greens and stuff like that. Now, I used to mix the peanuts and the mealworms inside their feed, but I just found it better to use that as a treat, you know? So yeah, the garden scraps, the peanuts, the mealworms, yeah, all that is good for them as a treat, guys. But right there, what I showed you, that is their staple feed. And that's what I've been feeding for years. And, you know, of course, I'll switch it up just a little bit by brand or by pellets or crumbles, obviously, you know, but working with that, it just helps me. It helps the pheasants. You know, they look beautiful, and the pheasants will talk to you. Look at them, you know, pay attention to them. Look how they're growing. You know, when you catch them up, how do they feel? Do they feel solid, or do they feel bony and loose feathered? You know, yeah, that right there will tell you, you know, if their diet's good or not. Now, what do you say we get out there and feed some pheasants and peafowl? Kevin, we're gonna test our feed. Freshly mixed for you, my friend. Now, my birds, each one of them has their favorite eating spot. And one of the favorite eating spots for the peafowl are on the bench here. So there's Thelma, Kevin. Yep, see? They love it, guys. I always say an animal with a good appetite is a healthy animal. Beautiful. You guys gonna save some for Louise over here? Kevin loves it so much. Like, I'm right up in his face and he don't even care. All right, guys, moving on. Okay, now guys, I'm going to touch on something that you guys have probably seen, but I've never talked about, and I'm going to give you a reason why I like to use it. Now, see these old milk jugs right here? I'm sure you guys have seen these in some of my pins. I used to use these for waterers, but then it got kind of messy, you know. I know they're not the most attractive things, guys, but here's what I like about them. I could put feed in here now, and they cannot waste it. If you don't fill it up too high, they cannot pick through and just waste everything else on the ground. Now, this works for me. Like I said, I know it's not the prettiest thing, but for the feed, it works really well. And I do not replace the feed, of course, until it's all gone. That's the story behind my little feeders here, guys, if you ever see them. Alrighty, guys, thank you once again for joining me on this one. If there's anything I didn't cover, you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below, guys, and I'll answer them as soon as I can. I'm always answering any kind of questions you guys got, you know, because you are my viewers, and that's what I'm here for, guys. So anything you want to know, anything I can help you out with, hey, just let me know. Also, on the quail thing, now I feed my quail a little bit differently, so that's going to be a whole another video entirely. Because I learned a lot of things on that. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. Anyways, guys, until next time, this has been from SplittinTracks Pheasantry, thanking y'all, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Peace.